Hello, everyone. Andy Jacob here with the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. Settle back, everybody. I have an amazing show today. You know, so many people reach out to me and they say, Jake, hey, when you come across a product or you come across something that just resonates for you and you love it, bring those people on the show, because always those CEOs and founders and co-founders, they have a great story. So recently I came across a liqueur, and I have to tell you, I had a sip of it. I had a little taste of it, and I absolutely went crazy over it. I mean, everybody at the table tried it, and we were like, what is this? And well, we looked into it, and we looked into who's put it together, and we look into the founder and the co-founder. The co-founder and the CEO's name is Ofir Badash, and he has something called Miami Arak. And wait till you hear about this liqueur. I mean, it is absolutely, I don't know if I should even say it out loud. It's something that once you have a taste, you can't stop drinking. And I mean, it's absolutely amazing. He says that it's inspired by Miami. And let me tell you, I mean, I have a bottle now at my house. It's right here in front of me. I bought it for the interview. Wait till you hear about this story as well. It's so great to have Ofir on the show. Ofir, welcome to the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts and insights about Miami Arak.
Well, this is so exciting to have you on the show. I mean, you know, here I was trying it out. I tried the espresso flavor, and I tell you, it's absolutely so smooth and so delightful. It's really remarkable. But before we get started, Ofir, let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet and tell us about what you're doing at Miami Arak.
So as we started, I'm a co-founder and a CEO of Miami Arak. Miami Arak came to the world around a year and a half ago. It's a funny story. We had zero intention to become what we became right now. Me and my buddy sat together and said that we'd like to make our own Arak. Arak, it's a kind of a drink that based on the anise, has different names like aguardiente for the Latins, ouzo for the Greek, well known as ouzo, and raki for the Turkish. Mediterraneans like me grew up on that drink, and we said, okay, so let's come up with a nice formula, a smooth formula, a different formula that we can do and enjoy it. And one thing led to another, and we found ourselves in a venture or adventure, depends how you want to call it. But everything is very interesting and positive, and we started to surge into the Arak world or liqueur, and brought up an amazing 6 flavors on the bottle side. Later on, we came out with 4 hard seltzer, bubbly Arak in cans. No one has done it before, with other 4 flavors. So it's an interesting thing to do. It's a very fun thing to do, and to be able to deliver something very smooth and nice to different tasting palates.
It's so amazing. I mean, you say something very interesting over that I love so much. And leading up to the interview, you know, we've had a couple conversations, but I love the way you mentioned that you love to masterfully blend the past and the present together. So let's talk about that. What does that mean? Because when you take a taste of it, and again, I've got my bottle right here. We'll show some on the screen. I mean, the bottle's so beautiful, and what's inside it is even better. But when we talk about it, you know, what do you mean by that? You blend the past and the present, because when you do take a sip of it, at least in my palate, it does remind me of something that maybe, you know, it's 100 or 200 years old, but it just tasted so delightful to today's age. It's sort of like you blended both of them together.
So I think that you hit the point. You hit the point. We have a lot of respect to our history, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about your army history, your nation history, or even different alcohol liqueurs that came to the world. So Arak is Mediterranean's North African drinks. Even you can find it in Lebanon. One of the most well-known cities in Lebanon called Zahlawi. And it's an old drink. We decided to base our own liqueurs on the history, but at the same time, to take Miami vibe and to put it in like a capsules right now and to amplify on steroids different flavors. And there is a reason why we blend the history with the current. First of all, why not? And it's time to make some progress. We made and still making progress in different aspects. As for the drink, we decided to go with a quality drink because we are one of the few companies that actually buy the plant anise and extract into cans to get a quality drink. Most of the companies, the big majority, are using powdered anise. We don't. We are taking the plant anise. It costs you more, but the results are amazing. And this is why we had an amazing yield. Our first year was unheard of, sales-wise. It allows us to bring you something very smooth, something special, something different. And on top of it, we build a layer of flavors that, at least in America, no one did it before. On that aspect, we respect the current audience. And I'll explain, I'll clarify what I mean. Usually, we researched before, when we decided to go like full in, we saw that some drinkers are left out because whenever they are coming to sit with someone who drinks vodka or scotch, the high proof or the high alcohol leaves them outside of the game, outside of the party. So we said, let's let them sit with the real Arak drinker, with the real vodka or scotch drinker, but let's give them some experience that they can be a part of the party at the same time, not to be banged head on their head. So we came out with a lower alcohol content, 32 proof, which is 16%. And then we built the flavors, different flavors. At the same time, we saw that the women were excluded. They used to the wine. I'm sorry, they're sick and tired from the wine. Come on. But usually the women are not into the heavy alcohol liqueurs or different vodkas or you name it. So we provide them with different flavors to allow them sit with us, with the men. It's 2021. It's time to make a progress soon, 2022, and to enjoy a great liqueur, great flavors. And I believe we're going to speak about the different flavors and why we did that, but this is kind of blending history with current. It's for everybody, and especially if you're looking for a low alcohol content, 16% hits the target, I would say.
Ofir, it's so impressive. And of course, for the entrepreneurs watching the show, rewind what Ofir just said, because he really kind of gave you a mini Harvard MBA right there. I mean, he listened to his clients. He knows what his clients want. He sort of anticipated their needs. And he sort of is a zeitgeist in this space. I mean, when I think of Ofir and his team, and of course, his co-founder, I mean, they're really on top of it. And they produce such a smooth blend. And the thing that's really remarkable about it is he has all of these different taste palettes covered. And he also, of course, has introduced a new item in a can, which I haven't had a chance to try yet, but the early reviews are absolutely remarkable. And of course, one thing that Arak is known for, Ofir, besides, the different flavors, let's show that can again, because you're known for the beautiful packaging. I mean, it's so gorgeous what you've put out there. I mean, it stands out on the shelf. Everybody wants to grab for it. It's a premium blend. And people, when they taste the purity of something, just like in business, when you offer the purity of your offering, just for the entrepreneurs watching the show, people can see, feel, touch, and in this case, taste that. They know when it's the real deal versus some of this stuff that's made with powders and things like that. So for entrepreneurs watching the show, make sure you understand that and rewind what Ofir said, because he gives the purest blend that really is masterfully presented in a beautiful package. And it's just amazing. Now, Ofir, let's talk about the taste palettes, because the one that I tasted was espresso, okay? And I said to myself after trying it, I said to myself, I mean, here it is again. First of all, I love the bottle. I mean, it's gorgeous. I said to myself, gosh, I mean, I'm almost thinking it tastes so good. I want to try this in the morning. But of course, I didn't do that. Now, Ofir, let's talk about the taste palette. What are the different sort of tastes that you have, the different flavors of the Miami Arak that people can enjoy?
I'm going back for a second to connect the dots. You said listen, which you're absolutely right. You analyze it exactly to the point. We listen to the customers. First of all, we saw the need of lower content liqueur to gain those audiences that were left out. Number one. Number two, we did our focus groups on different 40 nationalities, which was a tough mission to hit different palates, because I can tell you for sure that for the audience, women and men from Netherlands, they have a different palate than you as American raisin-born and me as an Israeli raisin-born, right? So we did our focus groups, we listened very carefully, and we have been working on the formulas for so many times. It was an enjoyable journey because every day between 9 to 10 a.m., I drank Arak 40%, 16%, 18% until we reach the right formula. Going forward, we brought to the world, and in the liquor business world, we are playing on an empty shelf right now, which is amazing. We brought different flavors. So first of all, we have the true original. This is the history. This is the 40% aguardiente, if you want, Ouzo, Raki, Arak. Very smooth, very different from any Arak that maybe you tried in your life. We get amazing reactions. You spoke about the brand. What happened to us is that whenever the old school drinkers tried it, they saw the brand and they jumped to buy another bottle, bubble gum, for their wives, for instance, okay? It stands out. I mean, I love it. And we have a lot of history over here. We have the Arabic letters inside. By the way, it's a gluten-free, low amount of sugar. So we take care of your health, if I can say that even, but I'm just giving you an idea. So the bubble gum applies for people who likes sweet drinks, okay? And we saw different reactions from different states. In Illinois, for instance, they are into the bubble gum as the number one flavor. Across the board, you can see that the lychee is number one. Number one seller all over. It doesn't matter what states you are, what country tried it, they're into it. Men and women. Mediterraneans like me that grew up on the real Arak also grew up on the lemons. So obviously we're in Florida, so we decided to go with the lemon lime, okay? Give some respect to Florida, to the lemon lime, put it inside the Arak, sip it and enjoy it, okay? The espresso, you tried it, and you saw how good it is, and I can say that the Latin audience are into it, the Americans are into it. And I'm gonna say something funny because you mentioned it, but I saw in my own eyes, and I don't recommend because I say drink responsibly. I saw how people actually stash a Miami Arak espresso bottle below their car seat, and in the morning when they have their coffee from Starbucks or whatever, they pour some again. I don't recommend, I can't take responsibility, but I'm just saying what I saw, so you can enjoy it late tonight when you're sitting with your partner over a coffee, and you can enjoy it. And our number one living flavor is the toasted marshmallow. Americans grew up on toasted marshmallow. They like the barbecue concept. And you know what? This one is a unique flavor, and the bubble gum. Those are two flavors that no one has all over the world as of now. I assume that after this interview, some will come and create some replicas, which is totally fine. So we managed to take all the focus groups, all the 40 different nationalities, and to hit at least 70% from the taste palettes, which is amazing, and I was surprised. The heavy drinkers love the flavors as well, but they're looking for something much more hard. So what they're doing, they are taking the true original, and they put some for the flavors into it, and they can enjoy for 40% alcohol with flavors. So yes, we listen, and as you said, as an entrepreneur, you listen, you analyze, and then you execute, trying to hit as much audience that you can to let them enjoy from something good that you are bringing out there.
I love it, Ofir. And of course, when I listen to you, and I'm sure the people watching the show listen to you, you're so thoughtful. You're so well thought out. Every step of the way has been thoughtfully planned. I'm sure there's been some surprises along the way and some pivots along the way as well. But where does this sort of brain come from, Ofir? I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm saying to you, you weren't always sort of a master blender and sort of, Arak expert. I know from, speaking to you earlier, you've got a background in other things, and maybe it would be a good thing for the entrepreneurs watching the show to hear a little bit more about your background, because, you're very thoughtful. The way in which you thought this through with your partner and your team is very remarkable. So other entrepreneurs are probably saying to themselves, did this Ofir live and breathe this, Miami Arak for the past X number of years? Or what did he do before to sort of get him ready for this big launch of Arak?
So firstly, I have to compliment my partners because I'm a co-founder and I have two more partners which are amazing. Josh is an amazing guy. He is our chairman and he has a lot of knowledge and experience. Shlomo, our other co-founder, has a lot of knowledge and experience in different fields of life. So it's not only about me at all. Josh created over here in our headquarters a place that's called the think tank. We are coming into the think tank and we are sitting and we are thinking about different ideas and about the way to execute different crazy ideas. I can tell you that we are working right now on a different wrong formulas. I can tell you that we came out with a hard seltzer when no one believed it's possible, and we managed to execute in 3 months hard seltzer, which is very quality. So taking those years of experience for myself, and I'll go deep into my background in a second, but using Josh's experience, Shlomo's experience, and the way that we came to the think tank and put our angels on fire helped us a lot to save time, to save money, even though, as you said, and you gave a hint, we lost money down the road. It took us a while to build the formulas. You're working with the TTB, you're working with different authorities. It's not an easy journey, and you have to come up with deep pockets in order to execute, and you hit it, you have the experience. Going back to my personal background, you can hear by my accent, right? It's a very heavy one, you can't miss it. I'm an Israeli. I moved to the States years back, and I'm an Israeli attorney. I practiced law in the past 15 years. At some point, I switched and I went to the infrastructure world, and I became an expert in the project world. I moved to the States mainly because of the real estate, but after the subprime, took some good opportunities. Back on the days, I'm a real estate guy. I'm a developer. I build in New York, in Manhattan, in Brooklyn. We ran more than $40 million projects over there. At the same time, we have a brokerage named Avenues. We have more than 120 agents in 5 different offices, Brooklyn and Manhattan. So I came with a lot of experience, and I want to say that I don't want to sound arrogant because I'm not, but we are the 3 of us are successful, and we came to Miami Arak from different angles in life. And we put all of our experience, knowledge, and thinking out of the box into the bottles. So the audience can actually enjoy a great product. And you know what, Andy? It doesn't cost you much. We are not here to, hit high numbers. Not at all. We are very simple guys that want everybody to enjoy, to sit together. It's about being together, especially during COVID. We got a chance and the time to sit together and think what we are missing over here. So COVID gave us the opportunity to bring something back to the community, even if you're talking about alcohol, but to gain the women with the men, to gain the left outs into the game. So it's kind of positive. And I can show you something that it's mind-blowing right now if you want. I'm going to surprise you because I didn't disclose it before. So tell me when and I'll shoot.
Ofir, this is great. I'm so excited. I mean, this is such a great product, and your journey is amazing. Of course, what you and Josh and Shlomo have been able to do is really remarkable as well. And we talk about world-class teams all the time on the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. As a matter of fact, in Silicon Valley, New York, Texas, all the private equity firms and angel investors and venture capitalists, I mean, the first question they ask now is, let's talk about your team. You know, they're interested in the technology, they're interested in the product, but if you don't have a world-class team these days, you know, your toast and what you've been able to put together with your group is really remarkable. So my hat's off to you. But listen, I want to get into entrepreneurship, but first of all, let's get to this special announcement, Ofir, because you've got me on pins and needles now.
So the team is the key, and right now we hire different mixologists that came from all walks of life, and we build a bunch of more than 10 recipes that can be found on our social media platform or miamiarak.com. At the same time, we don't want you to bother and go into the liquor store and go nuts by finding the arak and finding the lemon and finding the vodka. So we based different recipes based on our 6 flavored arak in bottles, and we came up with a simple bag that's called I Drink Pink. Okay? And guess what? At the back, you have the recipe of the Bazooka Joe, and we build a powder inside of it. So you pay for it maybe $3. You pour it into your drink, and then you got a cocktail. You don't have to bother so much. $3, and you're good. We came up with the lemon rosemary spirits. We came up with Toasted Espresso Martini. Bunch of recipes that I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing, and I invite everybody, every entrepreneur, someone that wants to try it, just to get a drink and try it yourself. Maybe you're gonna like it, and if you don't, try the other flavor, because for sure it's gonna hit your palate.
Wow, I love it. I mean, congratulations. I mean, it's Arak in a pack. It's so interesting. I mean, you're constantly evolving. You're constantly improving. You're constantly listening to your client base and producing the best quality liqueur. And in this case now, the package, which is an all-in-one sort of an idea. I mean, it's just remarkable. I can't wait to get out on the shelves, and so I can try some of that myself. It sounds like you go to a picnic or a ball game or something like that, and then you have the pack right there, right?
Exactly. You got the pack. You put it in your cocktail drink, in your glass, and you get an amazing result.
Well, Ofir, this is awesome. And of course, I know you've only cut out a certain amount of time for me today, but I want to follow up just with sort of an entrepreneurial question, because a lot of people are going to watch the show and they're going to say, listen, what Ofir and the team is doing is remarkable. Has he ever gotten into a tough jam? Has he ever sort of hit a pothole in the road? Maybe we have entrepreneurs watching the show right now. They're hitting a wall, or maybe they freeze in the frame. They don't know what to do. So maybe you could give some advice to the younger entrepreneurs watching the show about what it takes to get through a tough time or a roadblock.
Obstacles are part of your journey. If you can't bear and resolve your obstacles, so you need to switch to a different, maybe venture or a different, I'm not sure how to even describe it, but I can tell you something different from a high level. I'm a jump master. I'm doing skydiving from time to time. And the way I see those different startups, because Miami Arak is a startup for any matter, is that you can, as an entrepreneur, you need to dream and you need to execute, because a lot of people have dreams or ideas, but they don't do anything with that. You have to execute. At the same time, you're trying to fly with your ideas and to come with bottles, hard seltzer, bags, you name it, it costs you a lot of money. You have to attach your feet to the ground. And why I mentioned being a jump master? Because you're jumping out of a completely functioning airplane, right? Which is unnatural. And then you have 60 seconds of free fall. This is being an entrepreneur. If you don't open your chute on time, if you don't put boundaries, if you don't choose the right A-team, you don't open your chute, guess what? You're done. You have to open your chute and you have to land safely. And this is the message that I can bring to everybody. We are all going into tough times, hard times, budget issues, fundraising. Someone pulled the blanket from here to there. We all know about it. Right now in the interview, everything looks shiny. When I'm gonna shut down the screen, I'm gonna go like crazy back onto the distillery and I'm gonna see what we did wrong. You have to ask yourself, questions. You have to criticize yourself and your team, but you're doing it only because you want to be better and you want to execute something good. So it's not only about the business, it's also about the values and the way you gather your team around you and you execute. So be optimistic. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be optimistic, because you're going to fall so many times until you get up on your feet and be successful. We have no other choice but being successful.
I love it. Ofir, that's great advice. I mean, here you are, a jump master. That must be very exciting. You live on the edge. You know, you've inspired this entire Miami Arak with your co-founders, you know, as a master blend that people just love. Everybody's talking about it. I mean, it's bold, it's fresh, it's unique, it's very, very appetizing on the palate, very smooth. I mean, remarkable. Listen, what you're doing is absolutely awesome, Ofir. I'm going to bring you back on the show because I want to talk more about your journey, because it's so fascinating, and the way in which you think about things, the way in which you present yourself, and what you're doing at Miami Arak is very interesting. And we're going to get into it more, because I know the next time I bring you on the show, you'll have even another product that you've listened to your clients and you're producing at such a high rate. All these ideas, and I know you test them and you go into the laboratory and you and your team really do a deep dive into the palates of the people that you're serving, but also think about the kinds of people that are going to be drinking it, you know, and where they're going to drink it and how they're going to drink it and the way in which they're going to be presented the offering. And it's just a remarkable entrepreneurial story, Ofir. I'm so happy that I've had a chance to get you on the show before it's too late, because I think in another 6 months or a year, I'm not going to be able to book you in. You're going to be so busy with all these requests. But Ofir, congratulations.
I'm saving the slot. Don't even think that.
Thank you so much. Ofir, thank you so much for coming on the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight series today. This was just a great interview.
Thank you very much, Andy. It was a real pleasure. And one last thing, you can get Miami Arak in 5 different states right now: California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and Florida. Next one in line is Texas. So look for us or go online, because we ship to 40 states.